Hello, welcome. It's Live at 5. We're here for you. For you. On a very sad day.
It is a sad day.
Diego Armando Maradona has passed away. 60 years of age.
No age.
But he had a life. He lived a life.
He did live
well
life.
And truly more than a 60-year-old. He fully lived his life, didn't he?
He lived his life to the full.
There
is no doubt about that. Unbelievable footballer. So talented, so natural. Brilliant balance. Great dribbler. Fantastic footballer. Left foot like a wand.
Yeah, probably the most talented footballer of all time. Just in terms of what he could do with a ball or an orange or anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Superb.
What a player. What a player.
Sad.
Let's get into it.
It's sad when, as you get older, those players that you loved watching start dying off, isn't it? It's, do you know what I mean? You kind of go...
But 60's still not that, like, you know what I mean?
60's not old.
No,
if he'd have lived a semi, like healthy lifestyle, he'd have been going for another 20 years. It was just that he packed everything into them 60 years.
He had a good goal.
He didn't look like he'd let up at anything. But
to be fair, I thought he'd be dead by about 45.
At one stage, he was heavily into stuff, like really badly, but he seemed to pull it back a little bit. I mean, I'm just reading some stuff on him then, apparently he was still an alcoholic and still had drug use according to certain people. So, but he was, he'd been in hospital, hadn't he, for a blood clot, and they saved him then. He was worried about him then and seemed to save him a couple of weeks ago, but quite clearly all the strain on his body was
well, don't forget as well, he, you know, you go back a few years and I'm trying to think when it was. I think it was before 2006 when he became the Argentina manager. He was massively overweight. And I think, did he go on like a reality show or something? And he went on a reality show in Argentina, and I'm sure they put him, he had surgery or something, like a gastric band, sorry. And something like that happened to him, so he was on, like he was in a terrible state. You look at the pictures when he put all the weight on, he was terrible. And having that surgery alone is a really bad, like it really
takes a toll.
And you have to look after yourself. And let's be honest, he didn't, because he clearly had an addictive personality.
Yeah.
And when you've got a lot of people out there who are very much willing to feed that, then, you know, anyone who's watched the Maradona documentary, I watched it on Channel 4 a few months back, and if you can find it, watch it. It's one of those documentaries that it's not, people don't pop up and start talking about. It's like, it just shows the timeline moving from Barcelona to Napoli without using footage to go in order.
Right.
So no one ever stops and says, like, anytime anyone talks, it's like when there's press conferences, or when the president talks, or when he's talking or someone's talking about him at the time.
I need to watch it then.
And it's absolutely fascinating because you understand how these things happen to him. You know, how he ended up being what he was. I mean, he was the best player in the world, and he basically went to sign for the equivalent of going to sign for like an Everton or do you know what I mean? And it was mad, absolutely mad. But then he's also in a city like Napoli, and you know, certain people got hold of him and helped them out, let's say, on his other side. So, you know, extraordinary player. And it's mad about Maradona as well, because he's always, like we were talking before, when he came back in like '94, and a lot of people didn't want him to see him doing well. It's a weird relationship with him in this country, isn't it? Because of '86.
Yeah.
Like, he was the devil for years. I couldn't care less. He scored one of the greatest goals ever in a game where he also did something rather cheeky. But anyone who outjumps Peter Shilton, I'm not arse, mate. You outjump a goalkeeper when you're 5'6" and use your hand, then come on. Got to have question marks to keep it there.
It was bad goalkeeping.
Yeah, it was terrible goalkeeping. Also, Terry Fenwick, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What did you knock it back for?
That was Steve Hodge.
Steve Hodge, yeah.
Terry
Fenwick couldn't get near him for the run, but neither could Peter Reid, so...
wasn't great.
But he was like... Everyone hated in this country. 1990, he started throwing himself on the floor because things had obviously started to
affect
them. And there's a good piece in the documentary as well, because that game was played in Napoli. So the fans were split. The Italian fans were split on whether to support him or support Italy. So it was a very strange situation, that. And all he kept on doing was throwing himself on the floor. Whereas 4 years before, he was riding the tackles. People. And then when he came back in '94 for America, there was this like love-hate relationship, because people wanted Maradona back because he was the best. But at the same time, the drugs thing had overshadowed him. And then he scores the goal.
Scored a great goal. Yeah.
Fantastic goal. Right
kit.
In the top corner. Blue, the amazing Adidas kit. Yeah. Adidas made amazing kits for that World Cup. And then I always remember afterwards, he's going off celebrating, but he's holding the hand of the person who's going to do the drug test.
Yeah,
and he's all happy, smiling. And it comes out about 3-4 hours later that he fails the drug test. And it's like, oh my God. It's like we all thought the dream had happened of Maradona was back. And as quickly as it came back, it was taken away. And that was probably classic Maradona.
Sad. I've watched the documentary when he goes and manages in Mexico. And things. He's brilliant. Mad. Absolute lunatic. But like a happy loon as well. Yeah. He's absolutely such a huge character. Yeah. But puts himself under so much pressure that it probably needed all of the substances to kind of help him carry on with what he was doing. Really sad, unbelievable talent. Fantastic to watch him play football, and sad that we've lost another one in this mad year. But and
also, like, he went to Barcelona when he was like the hottest prospect in the world. He was kicked off the park. I mean, the ankle injury he got was absolutely awful, absolutely awful. And that sort of pushed Barcelona to go, we can't be bothered with this. It's too much hassle. There's those the one where he like runs up and just does a massive kung fu kick on someone. They were like, couldn't be bothered with it.
Yeah.
But no, amazing.
Great player. Into the comments, Sophie Gallagher, Sigurdsson out, says, evening lads, the points were more important than anything on Sunday. We won't be consistent till we get rid of rubbish like Sigurdsson, Mina, Tosin, Delph and Kenny. You Blue says, evening lads. Josh Farley said he'd heard the news. Ed Bailey says, should I get a blue or yellow kit for Christmas?
No.
Get the yellow, because we'll have a blue home kit next season. We might not have an amber kit next year, so get that one. Josh Farley says, sad Eugene McGeever, R.I.P. Maradona. Mathew Jervis says, do you know if Maradona was still managing the team? I heard he was. I don't think he was he? At the moment.
I don't think so, but
I'm not 100% sure. But I don't think he was at this moment in time. Lewis Ruddy says, all right, lads. Josh Farley says, Maradona was one of the world's best ever. He certainly was. Charlie Plays, 1807, R.I.P. Maradona. Andy Walker says, poor Maradona, but at least he didn't run himself over. That was obviously in reference to Brian Harvey chat on Patreon last night. Brian Harvey isn't dead, by the way.
Just did run himself over.
Did run himself over. Jamil Abdullah Rahman says, Maradona crying face. Yeah, like real crying face it is. It's sad. Blue Lad says, aye lads, cold from Cold Litherland. Score prediction for the next game. 4-2 Everton. Sophie Gallagher says they need to spend the week on a training ground doing overtime on defending. We're very good going forward. I'm sure they are working on it, Soph, this week. Don't forget, they only got certain people back on the Friday, trained properly on the Saturday, and then went to Fulham. So, we'll see. Stuart Lowe says the best ever, pioneered many aspects of football, a true dribbler of the ball that you don't see anymore, sadly, a legend to me growing up.
Do you remember Puma Maradonas?
Amazing boots.
They had the sky blue of the Napoli kit on them as well.
I just loved seeing him with the Puma on, just running at people, but Puma Maradona were amazing. Liam Hughes says, hey lads, how you doing? Excited for the weekend. It's going to be a tough game against the good Leeds team. Go on, if he wants to score prediction, I've just said 4-2 Everton. What are you saying?
5-3.
Great game.
Is it though?
No, because my bottle will be gone if he had 3 goals. Jack Wheeler says, so sad to hear about the bad news. I know, mate. Aghast the Garg says, what were your reactions to the hand of God in 86?
Incredible name, that is something. That's a name that should really be in Willy Wonka.
Easily.
That should be one of the kids' names.
Garg. I honestly...
Aghast the Garg, stop eating all the chocolate.
I was fuming with him, if truth be told. As a young teenager, England were... Don't forget, like now, I couldn't care less about England, but 86, we had Gary Lineker, Gary Stevens, Trevor Stephen, Peter Reid, Paul Bracewell, all in the England squad. We were absolutely brilliant, England, with the Everton players. When the Everton lads got in, Stevens, Lineker, Reid, we were just fantastic. And England were on that wave. We also had Peter Beardsley in the team, who was brilliant. And he got onto like a good run. And we played Argentina in the quarterfinals in Mexico City. And it was a game that I think a lot of England fans, even though they had Maradona and he was incredible in that World Cup, a lot of England fans, me included, thought we'd win. And we were 2-0 down. He scored, obviously, the hand of God, which was scandalous. Then he scored a worldie, which was incredible, although someone should have just put a challenge in on him.
Yeah, near him.
And then John Barnes come on and had a great run, great cross. Lineker had it in 2-1. And then he does the same thing in the last minute, Barnes, and it goes across Lineker's head. Yeah. He throws himself at it. And I think if that would have gone in, England had them on the ropes then. They were backed on the ropes. They were down and out almost. I think if it goes 2-2, England go on and win it, and obviously into the semis then. But I was devastated we lost that. And I was devastated we lost in 1990 in the semi-final. But then after that, I wasn't really that bothered then. It kind of like was a little bit, it was just like, oh, I want them to do well, but 86 and 90, I think I was, when we 82, 86, 90, I think when we 3 World Cups when I was like, because we didn't get there in 94, did we?
I was too young, really. I mean, I remember watching 86, but I was too young to be arsed either way. I just remember being an amazing... I remember, like, the injustice of the handball, but also the complete flip side with the other goal, which is like it's probably the greatest World Cup goal of all time, I'd say.
His goal against Belgium in the semi when he picked it up. Oh my God!
It depends whether you class England defenders as good or not. I mean, that World Cup.
Terry Fenwick was
that World Cup's incredible. Like Michael Laudrup was amazing in it as well.
Hugo
the goals
Sanchez
he was scoring.
Amazing. Hugo Sanchez bicycle kicks.
So like it was. Yeah, I think for me, I was more disappointed than 1990 because 1990 was that was my first sort of proper World Cup, watching the whole thing, studying the whole thing, having all the wall charts and all the rest of it. And I was more disappointed at his antics in 1990, the diving and all that kind of thing. I'd be too young to know what had gone on. But 1990 was such an incredible like World Cup. It just the way like Nessun Dorman and everything, and for him to like every time you'd expect him to do what he did in 86, he didn't. He threw himself on the floor, and his body obviously was a mess by then.
But the opening game against Nigeria, Cameroon, they kicked him off the park, him and Kinnigia.
No, they did. I'm just saying, I think his body was completely gone anyway by that point in terms of what he put his body through. Yeah. And also, he played in Italy where every game they were trying to kick him off the park.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Napoli were this unfancy team, and he managed to get him 2 league titles and a Europa Cup. They kicked him off the park every game, you know, and he was like the first world superstar of, you know, we'd had Pele before that, but Pele was a bit of a myth. Like, he'd only ever did it in Brazil, and he did it in World Cup. So every time people loved him, but this was a player who'd come over to Europe and played.
Different though then.
No, I'm not having a go at Pele.
And we didn't see him.
I'm not having a go at Pele. I'm just saying that this fella was the first TV football star, but then because of what had happened, don't forget what happened with the England game as well. It happened it was like 4 or 5 years removed after the Falklands War. Argentina hated us, and there was this sort of thing back as well. It was dead weird when you think about it, fighting over a rock, which isn't even ours anyway. So there was like that all that needle, and that carried on. So we became like in our press, he became
the devil.
Yeah, he was. They ate him, don't they? They ate him. Shilton still ate him. But like,
you would.
I know, Because he made him look stupid. Because he made him look stupid.
Yeah, he did.
That's why. No, but why would you be asked holding a grudge though this long?
He should have come and suck him out. But,
remember 88, sorry, when he played when it was England versus the rest of the world? For centenary of the Football League. And they both wore like Umbro. He had this red kit and had the rest of the world. And in fact, I think Lineker played for the rest of the world as well, because he was at Barcelona. Yeah. So it was a team made up of the Football League players playing against the rest of the world. And Lineker and Maradona played in the same team.
Imagine it now, trying to do that now. Real Source says, do you think our best 11 now would beat our best 11 during Martinez's first season?
I think defensively we were so much better than
we had this and
we had defensively we were brilliant in the first season under Martinez. So that might be the difference.
Josh Stevens, what do you think about the death of Maradona? We just talked about that. Paul Kate from Melbourne says, thoughts on a double January swoop for Brooks and King? If not both, which would you rather have? Well, I'd like to have David Brooks because he's young and you could have him for a few years. Josh King is in and out of Bournemouth side at the moment, isn't he? Obviously, he's a very quick attacking player, so he gives you options. But if you're looking for value for money, longevity, then you'd obviously go for Brooks, although value for money when they're talking 40 million is utterly nonsense. Justin Boratica says, RIP El Diego. Paul Cabe also says, Diego will be sniffing to his heart's content now. Okay. Sam Greaves says, RIP, one line too many, but joy to watch. Also says, worshipped like a god back home, carried the team to a World Cup. He certainly did carry a team to a World Cup, didn't he? Mike Ferris says, Mina is better than Holgate.
No.
Okay. Stephen Cowdy says, any truth in the Luis Alberto rumours? If true, not bothered that he's an ex-Red. Well, no, if he come in and played for us, why would you be bothered? Didn't play for Liverpool of any note, did he? He's gone to Lazio, he's done very well over there. I think he's had 144 appearances. He's got 27 goals and he's had 44 assists. He got 14 assists or 16 assists last season. So he's obviously a very skillful, creative player, and obviously would be a good addition to Everton's midfield. But he's 28. It's another one going into that area, that zone. He's a good player though, but I wouldn't be bothered that he'd been at Liverpool, because he's not like he played for Liverpool for years and was giving it all that in derby matches and everything.
No, I'd more be bothered about his age.
The age would be more, yeah. Samuel Thorndale Leach says he believes Maradona was still managing a team, about 95% sure. Mitchell Balzen said he was a coach at Gymnasia. Oh, right, okay. I didn't know whether he was still there.
Gymnasia in Spain? Or
Argentina.
Oh, sorry.
Martin Edwards says, been off this week and ain't left the couch. I hope you're well and you're just off for a break. If so, enjoy it. Sophie says, what tier do you reckon will be in tomorrow? Hopefully 2, so there can be a crowd back at Goodison. But they're likely to put us in 3 because it's the Tories. Well, is that when they're finding out tomorrow? I thought it was next week. But I don't know.
Probably be tomorrow.
What tier do you reckon they'll be in?
I think we'll be in... Well, we should be in 2, but they've also said that the tiers are going to be structured different.
2 plus.
So we'll be like 2.5.
Be 2 plus, which means that
they
mightn't be able to have people back in. I'd leave it, Sophie, if I'm being honest. I'd leave it till January before I let anyone back in any football stadium. We're just about to come out of a lockdown. So, Carl Byron says, RIP Maradona, true legend, fighting an addiction. He was. Sam Greaves says, all will be in tier 2 or 3. Grimsoft Yo Life says, Leeds will win. Well, we'll see on Saturday, won't we? Simple as that. Kev Thompson says, Maradona is dead. Amazing player. I remember spending my drunken nights in Argentina trying to convince people that George Best was a better player. Didn't convince many. Drunken nights in Argentina. What a thing. And Grimsoft, obviously, is a Leeds fan. Fair play to you, mate. You've got to be confident. You've got to be confident. It'll come down to who defends the better of the 2 teams. UK Connor says, do you think Iwobi could play as a typical right back in a back 4?
No.
No, I mean, amazingly, he won 100% of his tackles at the weekend. And also, amazingly, no one won more tackles than James Rodriguez in the Everton team at the weekend. Which is mad. Mathew Jervis says he was the current manager of Gymnasia. That's mad. Stephen Richardson, hi guys, sad news, the passing of Maradona. It is, Stephen. Justin Boratica says, what do you guys think about the new formation? I think it could be great with 3 in the back, Holgate, Keane, Coleman or Godfrey. I think it was interesting that we used it last week. And I think that it shows the managers looking around at different solutions, gives us different options. I thought we were good offensively, so I think it was good. So Tida Conrad says, R.I.P. Tommy Dodds, big Everton fan. Okay, R.I.P. Tommy, Big Blue, that's off Satida. JVLZ says Brazil. I don't know what that is. Eugene McGeever said who's better, Pele or Maradona?
Maradona.
I think Pele was a better striker because he was a natural centre forward. I mean, I didn't see him play, but the footage I've seen and the things I know of him, he was a better striker, but Maradona was a better footballer. And I see Maradona. So, Sam says, never saw Maradona due to my age, but I saw a video of former Napoli team chanting this song, proper catchy, one of the greats. Ellis Hewson says, hey lads, prediction for the Chelsea game. It's in like 3 weeks. It's on the 12th of December, Ellis. Ask us the week of the game. A lot can change in that, that time. Anthony Young says, nice win, lads, many more to come. It was a nice win. Second half wasn't great, but it was a nice win. The first half was very good. Sam Goodall says, R.I.P. Maradona. Sophie Gallagher says, how long till the media are selling DCL to a top 6 club? Well, they're already trying to sell him today, Soph, saying he'll probably have to leave. So don't let it affect you. It's only people in jobs that are football fans and they just go, oh, Everton we don't want, and it's certain fans of certain clubs and they'll just be, I don't want Everton to do well, so let's link him with Man United or let's link him somewhere else. I wouldn't worry about it. Stephen Richardson says Pele was a better player. Stuart Lowe says, in an interview of Maradona, he was asked about the hand of God goal. He laughed and said England are far too noble to do what he did and will never win a trophy because of it. So he's right. Carlo said he'll be working on the defence more in training this week, so let's hope we can get a clean sheet soon. Confidence at the back is frail at the moment. It certainly is. Mitchell Bolson said the man denounced his son, abused drugs and women, moved to the Rhodos because of his ties with the Sinaloa cartel. He was good at footy but wasn't a good man. Okay, Mitchell. We're just talking about his footballing ability, really. Liam Hughes says James Rodriguez has tested positive for being the best pre-assister in the Prem and then put the GOAT emoji there. Phil Young says, all right, lads, where's the Jaffa cakes? I am. You're going to read some hates and comments out in a minute.
I will in a minute. I'm just looking for something.
No, somebody so I can have a Jaffa cake. Terry McKenna says God wanted his hand back. He was a serial cheat. End of.
Okay. Wasn't a serial cheat though. He did.
Well, he took drugs and he done.
Is that,
well,
what,
it is.
What's that cheating on?
What's Lance Armstrong? What's Lance Armstrong?
I don't agree with recreational drugs, but they certainly don't age it. Well, Lance Armstrong had blood transfusions while he was on a bike.
I'm just saying people would accuse all. I love that when it's like your opinion that everyone else is wrong. It is.
It's not.
Some people are calling it cheat.
If he took drugs, right? If he took drugs that were like EPO and
you know that taking drugs stops you feeling things. So it doesn't matter whether the performance enhancing drugs, if it stops you feeling something, then it's an advantage.
I think it's pretty much been proven that recreational drugs don't make you a better footballer.
That's nothing to do with being a better footballer.
That makes you a cheat then, doesn't it?
Well, cheat is if you do something that nobody else is doing illegally.
Listen, I'm pretty sure a lot of other people have done it. A lot of other people.
I'm not saying they haven't. I think he's an amazing footballer, with or without drugs. And I think
he was.
But people will look at it as a
destroyed his own football career by taking drugs.
Probably.
More than anything.
Probably. Stuart Lowe says he scored a couple of goals from corners. Amazing footballer. Michael Wilson says in 1990, I can't see us losing another game. He looked that good. Then it all ended in tears. Is that what he said?
Is that what Maradona said?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Stuart says international friendlies need to be banned. They're the biggest scam in football. They defo do need to be banned because they're just rubbish. Trell Ali says the coverage of his death here in the States has been disgraceful. Barely even talking about it.
It depends. I mean, he's not. I wouldn't think he was a star in America, though, was he? He's not.
He's not like an amazing basketball player or a baseball
America's
player.
very insular, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like Pele would probably get a big send off because he played in America, and he would be well known. But I wouldn't imagine. America's very insular. I mean, it's not a. You can't really. It's difficult to talk about America when it's the rest of the world. The rest of the world know who Maradona is. He's one of the most famous people in the world when it comes to the rest of the world. America, I wouldn't imagine the average person. They'd probably think you meant Madonna or something.
Mad. There can be only one. Says shame about Maradona, but he lived a mad life.
No,
International friendlies should be stopped. Make sure you're hitting the like button. We've had the serial thumbs downers in it, so give be the serial thumbs uppers. Stuart says if a player is not attempted to stay on his feet, it should not be a foul. Because I mean, it's essentially the same as diving, isn't it, really? Tom Bruce says, what are your thoughts on the introduction of fans back in the ground? I know we're likely to be in tier 3, but 2,000 fans still sounds ridiculously low. I'll be honest, Tom, I think, just my personal opinion, Pep might think slightly different, I don't know. My personal opinion is it's too soon to be putting fans back in stadiums when we're coming out of a lockdown next week. I think hang on until maybe mid-Jan and then get people back in then.
There's a lot of mixed messages, isn't there?
That's what I mean.
Mixed messages, isn't it? Funny enough, we were talking about this last week when me and Aaron, when we were doing the Nerd Social Club podcast, and we were talking about, and this will sound stupid, we were talking about Wonder Woman's coming out right on Christmas Day. Right on the picture. It's coming on the pictures and it's coming on HBO Max in the States.
Right.
Right. We're like, isn't that stupid? Like really poorly responsibility from the cinema people, from the people who are releasing it.
On Christmas Day.
Well, loads of films come out on Christmas Day in America because Christmas Day's not like. Because don't forget, it's a lot more multicultural and stuff. Yeah. And they have NBA and NFL and all kinds over there on Christmas Day. But we were saying, isn't that like poor from the cinema, from the studio to bring out on Christmas? Because you're encouraging people to go to the cinema. And it's the same with this. It's like, in these times, isn't that like a little bit poor that you're encouraging people?
Especially if you just hang off a few weeks.
Because they've already
3 or 4 weeks won't make
the bubble thing is going to be... And listen, I'm not saying that anyone... do what you want. It's Christmas. I'm not here to judge people and tell people what they shouldn't be doing. But if you are sticking to the 3 houses, right? It's but it's dead hard, isn't it? Because you're like, we were doing it last night, and we were like, if we go to me mum and dad's, then it's like me and my missus, my sister, and my brother-in-law and my mum and dad. All right, they sort of make one bubble because they live within the same 2 hours. But that's 3. So then we go, well, what if we? But if someone's going to see your dad, then that suddenly means. But then we were like, well, what if your dad wants to go, and your dad goes somewhere else for this then, and what if there's 3 sets there? And you're like, before you've got this spider's web of like just going out and out and out of people, and it's just to add that and then add this kind of thing. And then what if they say Evertonians, 2,000 of you can go to the Man United game 2 days before Christmas? Yeah. Well, are you? I know they're not part of your bubbles and you'll be nowhere near anyone else, but suddenly...
Still not that environment, though.
Exactly, you're adding that to that, aren't you then? Yeah. And you're saying...
I just think they just hang off until the middle of January. Really, let's come out of this lockdown. People are talking about Christmas. Let's get up to Christmas and see how it's going because we're back out of lockdown. Yeah. If the R rate is still pretty low, then we can start looking at football stadiums. Because all I can see in my mind, and this might be totally wrong, but we're going into the winter months anyway, where the flu is prevalent. So they're talking about it being a tough winter, but then obviously from after this year with the vaccine, it'll get better. if we just don't go on until mid-January, we'd see where we are. And if things are okay, then we can move forward.
Yeah.
Because I can just see us coming out of it, doing these things because lockdown's eased, and then us getting locked down again in January, which you've already said they're preparing for another lockdown on the 8th of January. So what is the point in mixing all of those people again to lock it down? You might see one game or something and you lock back down. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It just, to me, it's a little bit of a mad one, but that's just where I stand on it. There can be only one, says the Nations League, is well and truly enough time to make a team work. Okay. Al M says, any links with a right back yet? Not seen any.
No.
Real Tours, that needs to be a Tuesday topic, really. If you'd have to make an Everton five-a-side team with only one player from each decade, we need more. We can't do that on this. What's the chances of Isco? Says Neil M. I don't know. The story keeps bobbling around.
50-50?
Yeah. Yeah, probably 50-50. I'd rather spend our money on Leon Bailey, who's, you know, someone young, or Ismail Assar, someone who can come in and be here for a few years, make a massive difference with the pace. Kobe Ware says, looking at our December fixtures, this could be the best or the worst Christmas for us Blues. Father Hammers and Don will hopefully provide the presents. December is a real opportunity for Everton to, it's got some tough fixtures in it, don't get me wrong, but it's a real opportunity to consolidate our place within those European places, whether that be Champions League or whether it be Euro, because we're up there. These next two games are vital for that though, really vital for it. Leeds at home, Burnley away. 6 points, a great position. 4 is still not too bad, but 6, beat Leeds this week and then go to Burnley full of confidence with an opportunity against a team that isn't having a great season. And then we've got the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal, and Man City in December. So it's about stepping up and proving yourself now. We had a great start of the season, 7 wins on the run. We had a sticky spell. We've won at the weekend. Can we now follow that up with a win? If you win at home on Saturday, it makes that Fulham win a big win and away win. You've consolidated it. So it's all about Saturday. Yellow Man says R.I.P. Maradona. Mitchell Bolson says, would you have Isco? Really, lads? Imagine another fancy number 10 who starts holding his hammy and asking to be subbed when we play a hard team. Is that what he does? Really? Don't know. He's a good player, but like I said, I'd want a younger player who's got pace to burn, to be honest. Samuel Thorndale Leach says, shame fans aren't allowed in because Maradona would have got one hell of a send-off at the Boca Juniors ground. Ellis Quinton said, would you try for Olivier Giroud? Looks like he could become
his goal last night
in January. I haven't seen it, but I believe it was. He's quality, isn't he?
Ball bounced up. They had a shot, keeper saved it, I think it was. It went dead high in the air, and all the defenders are just sort of looking at it, and he comes from nowhere and just gets up and knocks it, and it got brilliant.
Put them through, didn't he?
Yeah.
The goal, I put them through. Jamil Abdullah Rahan says, Alan has been disappointing the last few games. Has he? I think his numbers have been really good. I think he's been all right. I think the problem is, I just don't see Alan as a problem at all. He's certainly not one of the issues we've got. I think the team defending hasn't been good. His numbers have been really good. Again, what you see with your eyes, fair enough. I look at both sides of it and go, have I got that right? Has he been as bad as I think, or has he been as good as I thought he was? Him and Decore have been sound, to be honest. Decore's numbers from the weekend are excellent. Sounds fantastic. Graham Price says, Ped, don't mention Maradona to my brother as he was there when Maradona did the hand of God. He still hates him for it. Random Uploads 87 says, hello lads, hope you're both well.
It's a long time to hold a grudge, that, isn't it?
Yeah, if it was Everton, I'd still hold a grudge. Trent Ali says, something we said today is that I can see Iwobi being similar to Moses under Conte. That's what we said today, yeah. Emma Knight says, I think 5 at the, and then it goes off. 5 at the back will work a lot better for us. Could be right, Emma. You could really be right. Rusty EFC says, lads, get that Emma Louise Jones on for the Leeds preview. Should have thought ahead of it, really, and contacted them. Sure, she'd have been up for it. Sure, you never know. JJ Brandon says, why is nobody talking about how we get a super tough fixture list over Christmas every season now?
I don't know. I think it does happen. We do always seem to have a bit of a tough run, but every game is, you take them one by one, don't you? Take them one by one, and whatever happens, happens.
Definitely. Fru and Pinto says, what do you think of Thierry Small? Highly rated left-back in our academy, linked with all of Europe's elites, apparently being offered a new deal. Potential first teamer. He's very good. Seems to have the physical attributes. Still a bit raw, but good player.
He's a kid, isn't he?
Got him from West Brom
hype him up
when he was 11. So, yeah, I mean, he's on the pathway to being in. 16, Luca Dean's 27, 28 this season. We've got Niels and Kunku there. Your own thought process would say Luca Dean either stays at Everton for another few seasons and Kunku becomes a solid backup or battles it out, or Luca Dean moves on and then Kunku comes in and Thierry Small is battling it out. So I think it's a bit early to be worrying about him. And I've seen that report today that teams are after him, but I don't know, a bit early for me. Stephen Caldy says, would you drop Mina and put Godfrey in centre-back for pace? Well, Godfrey was in, wasn't it? Depends if we carry on with the three. I know that Carlos said Mason Holgate, they're trying to get him up to speed with his fitness. So if he does a full week this week, maybe Mason will be fit at the weekend. Would you take Mina out this weekend for Mason?
Yeah, I'd take Mina out. I just think that we need pace in the back line. Not saying it's all his fault, but look at both of the goals. He's static on both of them. He's like, even the second one, his positioning is poor for the second goal. There's no what I would say about certainly the second goal. There's no real understanding of where the other players are on the pitch between all of them though. All three of them are in just like looking after themselves.
Well, Godfrey's not. Godfrey's marking Mitrovic, which he's got to. But Keane and Mina, you're right, they're just doing... They both seem to be trying to block off the same ball, which is the cross. And one of them, your midfield have got to get in, but if that goal starts because Luca Dean overcommits, he tries to nick a ball and Lookman just uses his body to get round him. But you're right, there's other times in the game where the gap's too big between the three of them, and someone's got to organise that and say, get tighter, cut the spaces off.
I've just found a picture of Maradona with Fidel Castro, so maybe that's why. And there's a picture of him with Chavez as well. So I think that's why it probably hasn't been shown in America much. And there's also a picture of him with a sign that says "Stop Bush," but the S in the bush is a swastika. So again, I think that's maybe why he's also got a tattoo of Che Guevara on his arm. So maybe that's why the American press...
He was quite a colourful.
Maybe that's why the American press didn't like him.
Evertonian Luke says, no age, 60th goes to show how fast life passes you by. Certainly does, mate. Kevin Thompson says, how about you, Best or Maradona? Well, I never seen Best. My dad says George Best was incredible. And when you see like the pitches he could dribble on, like thick mud quagmires.
I think they were made of the same stuff.
But again, both with addictive personalities, wasn't it? Just add that. SCP Tabletop says, I'll be absolutely depressed if we sell DCL. I don't think we're going to sell DCL. Someone coming in with 150 million for him. Because that's how much it costs to get him out. Rustling says, do you think James has stopped performing as much in his last few games? I think he's been injured. So, obviously, the Van Dijk injury put him out for a bit. And then he's obviously had a situation where he played against Southampton when he shouldn't have done, so he was out. And then he's gone away with Colombia. And yet, Sunday, people say, oh, he wasn't very good. Most tackles, still had an 88% pass completion. 2 pre-assists for the second and third goal. So he's a match winner. That's what he is.
Right, I'm going to do some on Patreon.
Go on.
You have a Jaffa
No,
cake.
go on. I will do.
Jay Munsey says, R.I.P. Diego Maradona. Then we've got Andrew, Mark, Everton Botchers. Hello, lads. Royal Blue says, what's your favourite moment of Diego Maradona?
What's which? Favourite moment?
Favourite thing he ever did?
The Belgium semi-final in the World Cup, just because I think it was the second goal, and he just skips past about 4 players, and he's one where he's fallen, and he still manages to lift it over.
And you've obviously got the
keeper.
classic picture of when he's like, there's 5 Belgian players in a row, and he's got the ball.
He's got the ball.
That's a classic picture. Mine would probably be, to be honest, a lot of it's more like, obviously because of my age, a lot of it's stuff I've seen since. And a lot of the footage is like the Italy footage when he was in Napoli is like, you go back and watch some of the, there's a video, actually, the one I love is the warm-up video.
Yeah.
But there's a chip he does when he's playing for Napoli, and it's just sublime. If I remember it right, it's probably about 87, he just chips the goalkeeper, and it's just like, so nonchalant, but probably like his goal against England is amazing. I'm not arsed, like it's an unbelievable goal. It's just the way he picks it up and just runs, and it's just frighteningly good. Paul Cattrall says, R.I.P. Diego Maradona, football genius. Sad day for football. When Gbamin is back, how do you think it will affect Alan's role in the team? Will he move a little bit more forward and leave Gbamin to operate in front of the back four?
Well, I think that's like the natural plan, is that Alan can go and start chasing and harrying and putting pressure on people. And hopefully the biggest thing it'll do is free the core up to break into the box. Yeah. Because Gbamin does patrol that area. He's a natural 6, really. So I think it could make a big difference, providing Gbamin gets back to what he was before his injury. But it could make a big difference. We bought. Yeah.
Gary Richard Part, Terry Cook, hello. Royal Blue. Where does he stand, Maradona, in the greatest players of your view?
Top 3.
I think he's the most natural footballer of all time, but it doesn't mean that he's the best footballer of all time for me, because I think that the consistency Messi has shown during his career makes him, for me, the best. But then some people would say that Messi is gifted by the fact of the pitches and the balls and the boots and the fact that you can't be kicked all over the park.
Nutritionalists.
Exactly. So everything. It's very, very, very difficult to say, isn't it? It's like comparing musicians through the times who've had different. I think the inspiration is I think Maradona, you go back again, you watch what he can do with you watch, like, this is a lad who grew up.
Messi will be inspired by Maradona.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
But Maradona's the kind of kid who grew up in bare feet, doing keep-ups with rags and oranges and all the rest of it. Golf balls I've seen doing keep-ups with.
True street football.
Yeah.
And don't forget, he was only 5'4" as well. 12 stone, 5'4". Unbelievable.
Stuart Lowe says, the best ever, pioneered many aspects of football, a true dribbler of the ball that you don't see anymore. Sadly, legend for me growing up. Dick L says, I've been moaning about my other half. Due to lockdown, I can't go to the pub and talk to my mates. I guess I'm just venting on here to you guys. She's a good girl, really, and the drama of Side the Gate seems to have blown over now. I'll try and stick to football things in the future. Dick, no! We want to hear everything that's going on in your house.
We've got that new show coming up, haven't we?
We have the Life and Times of Dick L. It's called
the Agony Aunt show on Patreon. So Dick, look out for that one, because it's basically born out of your conversations. So that's what we're going to do. So you can vent there. You
can.
Not on a Wednesday.
Get it all out there.
Other days.
Andrew Hughes says, just had an argument with my mate. He said Pele and Maradona in their prime would not make Liverpool's team. Jesus Christ.
Move on.
Do you think their prime, they would walk into any team, or would they find Prem too hard? They'd walk into any team. Any team. That's what makes them the best players.
That's why they're the best.
Oh my God.
Maradona would waltz into
absolute nonsense.
Even the way he was in the World Cup in '94, he'd still waltz into any team.
Gareth Hughes says Diego was the best I've ever seen, including Messi and Ronaldo. Jan Fazakli says, hi guys. Just wondering if you would take Giroud on loan to the end of the season, or maybe Pepe, as he may be available. That would give Sims a bit more time.
Giroud on loan would be great.
I'd always find time for Giroud.
Giroud on loan would be brilliant, definitely, because he scored goals.
The only thing is, though, if he came on loan, he'd want to play.
Yeah,
and
that's the problem.
I don't think we could guarantee him games,
no.
Especially because we've got...
We'd have to change then to a genuine 3-5-2 to get two of them in.
But
and
isn't
then
this what...
Where would Richarlison
But isn't this what Chelsea did last season with Giroud, though? They didn't start him, but the more the season went on...
Played a lot in the second half of the season.
He started to get more games, didn't he?
Because when he plays, he scores. And then Lampard was like, oh yeah, we better play him because he guarantees goals. And I actually think Werner would really benefit from playing with him.
Everton Botcher says, I want to ask if our philosophy has changed from young players to old, and if that will affect us in the future.
I don't think it's changed. I think the overall emphasis will still be on younger players. I just think we got to a situation in the summer where we said this. We needed some sure bets. We needed some sure things. We didn't need another gamble. Oh, we can buy him and it's a gamble, but if we get it right, it's brilliant. We needed a manager so we could go, I'm going to play Alan and I know exactly what I'm getting from him. We know Abdoulaye Doucouré will do this because he's done it every year in the Premier League. James Rodriguez, we know if we give him the ball, he's got real quality. That's why we went for those players. We've bought Ben Godfrey, who is very much in the thing of he could be a cracker for us. He's 22, he's not in all the time. You know, we also added Niels and Kunku, so we still got that side of it. We're still looking at younger players, but I think Ancelotti wanted some players that he could literally put on a team sheet and forget about them and go, right, I know what you three are giving me. Let's have a look if we can build these. But I still think overall, the football club will be looking at that younger player.
Dick L says, Peter Reid was such a wonderful player, but whenever I talk about him at work, all he seems to be known for is Diego leaving him for dead for the goal in '86. Diego was a great player, but Peter Reid was so much better than that one moment. Yeah, of course he was.
No, Reid was incredible.
Everton Botcher says we should go for Samuel Winger from Villarreal. Is that his name, Samuel Winger, or is he just a winger called Samuel? You know these things, I don't.
Oh, yes. Does he mean Chukwueze, whatever his name is?
Samuel
Chukwueze or whatever.
Georgie Redman, unfortunate second name, says, evening lads, who's your top 3 players of all time? Mine has to be R9, Maradona and Messi. Messi, probably R9 and probably Maradona.
Yeah, those 3 would be in it. And then you're looking at Ronaldo, Pele and George Best probably as a top 6.
Cruyff.
And Johan Cruyff as well was incredible as well. And then you're looking to the next echelon of
Zidane.
Well,
then you go Zidane and
Van
you go
Basten and Batistuta, Zidane, and then it starts dropping down like that. But
Roberto says, how good are you guys getting information from inside the club? If so, I appreciate that you can't disclose certain things. I guess my point is, if you guys know more, then you can tell us. The first rule,
just keep watching.
The first rule of Fight Club. That's all we're going to say.
Patron will be the place you get it. That's all we're saying.
Circle of Trust, COT. Adam Conroy says, hey lads, how are you? Stuck in work at the moment, so we'll have to watch this later. Just wanted to say I love the Tuesday topic this week. Good chat. Also, I left a comment on the test post last night. Hope it worked out for you guys. Adam, I answered you back, didn't I, on the test post? Thanks, mate. Jan Verzakli says, how unlucky am I? I'm referring to Paul's comment about which player would you be choosing wearing a number for your birthday, as mine is 13. Tough choice. What do you think? Paul Gerrard.
Big Gerald. It's got to be.
Mark G says, okay, rank the following in order. Diego Maradona, Pele, Messi, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho.
You haven't even put R9 in, so...
Well, I don't know. That might be R9. I don't know which Ronaldo it is.
We just ranked them.
We have. I'm just answering questions. Gareth Hughes says, who's your favourite Spice Girl? I like the bit of ginger. Look proper mucky in a good way. The thing about the Spice Girls is, I change month by month.
Do you?
No, not now. I mean, I don't look at Scary and I'm going, oh, I don't look at a bit of that.
Was there ever... Oh, Scary,
yeah,
Scary was, 100%. Scary would have been my favourite.
Would have played there right back every game.
No, she'd have played full up front.
Would she, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. She's the first name on the sheet.
But I would have had her as like a modern day right back.
Like at first.
Getting up and down.
And down. Yeah. At first, when you first seen him, like Posh Spice looked all right.
Yeah.
But then... And Jerry did look a bit naughty.
Oh, Jerry was fit. She was what? Like, what was I, like 16, 17? You wanted someone like Jerry to get a grip here at that age, didn't you?
She looked naughty.
Well, she'd show you how to play centre midfield, though.
Would.
She'd hold your hand.
She would.
She played the holding role and let you maybe go.
She gets in and it's, where it's flying, she's in.
Oh, by the way, never sporty. Never, ever, ever,
I'll
ever,
be honest, right?
Ever sporty.
There was never baby for me either.
Oh, fair enough.
Not Emma Bunton. Not my thing.
Emma Bunton. Emma Bunton.
No, not for me. Not for me. Listen to this one, Carl Byron. My pal took a line of coke and beat up 5 men. I think it's very much a performance-enhancing drug. Didn't perform for his wife while wired, but that's another story. And now Carl's gone. Carl's left it all on the table there, hasn't he?
Don't endorse
hasn't he?
the use of Coca-Cola.
Anthony Young says DCL is on fire. Shrikar Kandala says, look like we dodged the bullet with Arteta. Robert F says, do you think the Leeds game at the weekend will come down to who can score more goals?
Do you know what? That's normally how football goes, isn't it? Normally
I think Robert means it's about the defence. Yeah, it's the defence, mate.
Normally I find that whoever scores the most goals in a football game has the advantage.
Okay. Make sure you're hitting the like button while you're here. Thank you very much.
Gareth Hughes says, my number is 16. Think Gravison played 16. He did play
16, yeah.
Jim Thompson says, do you realise that the correct pronunciation of Yeri is in fact Yeri?
Yeah.
Jerry, Colombian geezer told me, fair enough, well, I'm not bothered, I just got to mean it. Andy Francis says, what's going on Saturday, lads? Do you think Iwobi is a right wing back for a good meaning? We won't be looking for one. I still think we'd be looking for a right back, because you need a right back, you need fluid systems. Score 12-7. Adam Lilford says, had an argument with a Liverpool fan yesterday, culminating in one of the most ridiculous comments I have ever heard. Carlo Ancelotti doesn't bring a winning mentality. Adam, they're all special people. Keith Powell says, hi lads, I am sure we watched Carlo being interviewed and asked about the rumours concerning Isco. He replied and reiterated that he had not talked about the transfer window and the constant media hype was BS. Which is fine, we all agree. However, what disgusted me was seeing that the Mirror headline the next day was, Everton boss issues a foul-mouthed response to Isco speculation. Well, he did swear. Freddie Knightley wrote the article, my God, now BS is PC, and doesn't it make speaking to the media even more frustrating for managers when they twist everything you say out of context? It is so frustrating. They also ask stupid questions.
He took that from a Spanish article as well, hadn't he? Because it wasn't said to our media.
Wasn't like he didn't say BS to someone. He just obviously said something, and he probably felt like he could say whatever he wanted in it, and it's been translated. You are right. I mean, the journalists in this country are just...
They weave the line whichever way they want.
Well, he just...
Liam Hughes says, when we have Keane back next season, if he comes back, who would you have as backup to Dom, him or Tosin? Moise Keane, every day of the week.
But I don't think he's coming back. Terry Cook says, praying for a win this weekend. Being a Yorkshire lad, most of my mates are Leeds fans. If you lose, I might have to pretend to isolate. Yep. Okay. Benjamin Fairclough says, walked in on hearing Maradona passed, feeling the same way right now as when Kobe died. Fair enough. I mean, again, another legend. Keith Powell says, lucky enough to see Pele at Goodison in '66. He got kicked off the park, he did, yeah. However, a superstar was born, and Eusebio was just something else. I got Adidas boots with his name on. A season later, what a player he was. I mean, I've been very lucky, and Basel similarly. I got to see Ronaldo, R9, and I got to see Romario at Goodison Park. Got to see Rivaldo. Got to see Roberto Carlos. So
Dunga.
Yeah.
So that wasn't the same, but I mean, he was a big player.
So in terms of like those kind of players, players that
R9.
In terms of like years future, the Romario was just mad, wasn't it?
Romario.
It was a friendly in like an October or a November to celebrate.
Phillips
had done the lights, and we played this friendly. It was mad. PSV, yeah, because PSV is the sporting part of Phillips, or was the sporting part of Phillips.
Mad. Absolutely.
But to say you've seen those players play Goodison Park, I've seen Maldini as well play. I've seen Italy play Russia at Anfield because Kanchelskis was playing. It's like the only game I've been to Anfield to watch. So that was brilliant as well.
Sure, Neymar as well at Liverpool, didn't you?
I did see. Well, actually, I've been to Anfield again, but that was I went to see Brazil the year before last.
World Cup, wasn't it?
Yeah, before the World Cup, I was in the press box. Thanks to Baz.
I should have been there as well, but I was away. But you watched Neymar.
I couldn't care less. That's the big words. I did see Neymar. They were.
No, but that's
no, it's Croatia. It was brilliant.
And what was brilliant?
What was
brilliant? He won 2-0.
Yeah. What was brilliant about that was afterwards, I went down to the mix zone where all the players walked through, and even though there was no point because I wasn't going to get any interviews, but I just went to see what it was like, and the scrum for Neymar was absolutely incredible. When he came out and walked down, they some of the press in this country, they were like animals. They were just like, whoa, like get out the way. And I was just standing there with a couple of other local journals, just like, this is incredible. This is incredible.
Stuart says, Ped, why are we the only sport that makes up their own time? Why can't we pause the clock?
I mean, it's interesting that you've asked me that question.
That's weird, isn't it? Because they reckon the ball's only in play for an hour.
But how long would the game go on for?
Yeah, that's
what I would say is, I'm not one who wants a clock. I know they've got that in like rugby league and stuff. I'm not that someone who wants a clock. But what I would like to know is, I would like a clock to show the added time. I'd like to know how they come up with the added time.
How they come up with it, yeah.
I'd love there to be a clock going where the ref goes. It'd be good to have the refs watch on the clock.
So like for 2 minutes.
So
2 minutes for subs, a minute for whatever.
Well, no, just whatever's on his watch.
Oh, okay.
Goes on. And listen, it's 2021. I'm sure we can come up with a watch that sends a Wi-Fi signal or whatever to a clock. Tells us exactly what. No, but
hang on. Have you tried to get the results on your phone in a match at Goodison on the Wi-Fi?
Mine's not too bad. People always ask me. No, but I'd like a clock that had exactly what was on the watch.
So we knew.
So we all knew.
Because you're just guessing, aren't you? Sam Collins says Maradona's a true legend, goal of all time, still be talked about 200 years from now. Mathew Jervis says, Ped, I'm halfway through The Mandalorian and my mate has recommended me to watch Series 7 of the Clone Wars before I move on to Series 2. Episode 3, would you say I need to?
No. You need to watch all of the Clone Wars, of Rebels.
But if he's not going to, does he?
I know, but that's like coming into anything in the last... You've got to...
Keep hitting the like button, thank you very much, appreciate it.
Clone Wars, right, anyone watched The Mandalorian, if you have never watched the Clone Wars, you're only getting half of the picture, because all these people who come into it, you're like, oh, this person, you have no idea what they're up to, honestly, or where they've come from. If you're properly into it, get on Disney Plus and watch the Clone Wars and watch Rebels. Honestly, it'll make it 12 times better, which 12. Is 2 better than 10.
Well, that's better. I mean, that's all it needs to be, really. Crystal X Killer says, "Hi lads, love the streams. What score do you reckon the game with Leeds will be? And should we use 3-4-3 or go back to 4-3-3? I mean, what do you think for Saturday? Should we stick with what we've got, or should we go back?
We haven't got a right back.
Okay.
As long as we haven't got a right back, never play with a right back if you haven't got a right back. John Joe Kenny is not good enough, and will never be good enough. And
for Everton, because he'll make it. He's gonna have football career
or something. But the other players are not right back, so
yeah,
we need a right back, and don't rush him back either.
Mark G says HBO is free for anyone who has any of the major cable providers in the US, meaning roughly 80% of people with TVs. It's a great move by the Warner Brothers to do something like that.
No, it is. I get that, Mark. But what I was saying is, why are they actively encouraging people to go to the cinema for the why are you doing that? It's America. Oh my God! Like, stick CNN on and look at the COVID numbers. It's unbelievable, and it's going to be worse by the end of the week because of Thanksgiving. So why are people encouraging people to go out to things like cinema where you're trapped in a room? Like, if it's a drive-in or something, then fair enough. But, like, why are you actively encouraging people to go to the cinema? That's bad. That's bad.
Lynn Babington, Lynn, says, evening, lad, say something to cheer me up. Has been made redundant today. And now I've got to find a job at my age, another job.
In 6 months, you can go to the townhouse.
She said, say something to cheer you up.
And that's exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what, Lynn? If you say you're going to the townhouse, I will make you a promise. I will meet you there.
Promise. A Sean
it's
promise.
It's a Sean promise. Okay. I will meet you outside and I will give you a power bar and a bottle of Lucasade and I will welcome you in and then I'm going home.
Yeah. I'll come as well.
Yeah. Power bar?
Yeah. Power bar, drink, and we'll clap you as you go in.
Get your Lucasade, get in there and
have a great time.
And have a great time. You know, enjoy the rubber sheets, whatever. Right?
And you move on from there.
I think that could keep you going for the next 6 months.
Well, Lynn, listen, I'm genuinely sorry to hear that you've lost your job. And hopefully you find
what flavour would you have? Would you have, like, classic Lucasade? Remember being sick in bed when you were a kid? That Lucasade. Remember when you were ill, when you couldn't go to school and your mum brought...
Original flavour, Lucasade, wasn't it?
But it's like this weird orange... But it wasn't like... It was orange coloured, but it also was like metallic orange, the colour, and it tasted of... All I can describe is Lucasade. It was Lucasade. Like people like Ned doesn't even know. He's got apple. He's got all these mad Lucasade flavours. Orange Sport gets to you first.
Hang on, where does he get that though?
Gets to you first.
Fast. Because that advert's only just come on in St. Helens now.
It has.
With John
Barnes is actually only 24 in St. Helens.
John Barnes, Everton should buy him. It's what Ned thinks.
In fact,
do you know what
they love at the moment in St. Helens? Milk. Because Ian Rush with
the milk.
Ackles and Stanley.
Who were they? Mike Davis says, Baz, I have a mate who works at Finch Farm and he said the lad from Derby, Chris Perkins, we brought in has got rid of loads of staff and so has Denise finally stopped getting involved in football decisions and it was in the past. I don't know, I hope so. Yeah, I knew Chris Perkins some changes since he come in, so hopefully we'll start to see the fruits of that now actually moving forward. Because we definitely need something. What kind of fruit? Banana. Anthony Young says, wasn't it great to see Decore get his first goal at the weekend? It was great.
Magnus says, Maradona and Kobe 2020 has been a bitch of a year. I mean, it has. I mean, you could have added a few more things to the year, but it has been a bitch. Louis says, all right, lads, if you could have any current manager from any league as an Everton player today in their prime, who would you have?
Say it again, if I could have what?
Any manager.
Yeah.
From any league as an Everton player today in their prime, who would you have?
Oh, okay, so ex-player who's mad. Zidane.
Good one. I was going to say, before you mentioned Zidane, I was going to say Frank Lampard.
Good player.
Terry Cook says, Sheedy just tweeted saying Reedy is still chasing Maradona.
Fair play.
Stuart Lowe says, I once bought a signed Maradona shirt from America for £2,000 by accident. One night I was very, very drunk. Luckily, the seller only made me pay relisting fees to re-advertise. Oh, Stuart, imagine how much that shirt would be worth now.
Yeah, worth for now.
Richard Parr says, no chance we'll be in Tier 3. The Northwest is the only region with an R rate below 1. If we are, then the Tories are definitely popcorning us. No matter what tier we are, though, it's ridiculous to even consider fans going back into stadiums at the moment. It's just not important.
100%. Agree.
Richard Folk says, all right, lads, missed this week's live at 5s due to the thing called work. Saturday wasn't great, played Sunday, mate. But I much needed win. Do you think if the wins had come more spread out rather than all at once, then losses all at once people would be feeling much more positive?
100%.
We are clearly moving in the right direction, in my view. It just will take time. Do you know what? No, out of the losses, it's only actually the Newcastle one that I was bothered about, thinking back now. Because I look at what happened, I think Southampton,
they caught us at the right time. We had 6 players out against Southampton, and they caught us at the right time. And they were much better than us. Man United won
like 6 in a row, and I think they're a lot better than people give them credit for. And it could have gone either way at 2-1.
Should have got a draw, really.
Exactly. The Newcastle game, that's the only one that really sticks in me thrown out because they are crap.
I think we thoroughly deserved to lose at Southampton. I don't think we were well beaten, But United could have gone either way, as in we could have got a draw. We couldn't have won the game, he didn't do enough.
Jay says, finally watched Derby Leipzig for the first time last night. Instantly won me over with the intensity and dynamism of the team. Really enjoyed to watch with and a few big tackles flying in from both sides. Ref was having none of Neymar's antics either. Keane only got the last 5 minutes, but ran faster and worked harder than I ever saw for us. Yeah, I mean, they're a good side. But it's hard to... the problem with teams like that is, and I know Southampton might be, but it's hard to like foster that in this country, isn't it? Yeah. It's hard to develop that because everyone's instantaneous results. And what Southampton have actually done is, they're not like... I'm not being arsey here, but I don't think their fans put any pressure on them. Like, they got beat 9-0. And it wasn't like... I was at the next game at their ground, and their fans were just like... meh. They weren't like...
It's a different thing. You don't expect to win stuff, do they? So they've got Hasselhoff, who's trying to create that. And of course, he is an ex-Leipzig manager as well.
Terry Cook says, favourite moment is him and Gaza. I think it was Napoli versus Lazio. Gaza turned up, hung over in the tunnel. Maradona turns around and says, don't worry, I am too. That was a testimonial, I think, wasn't it? Or was he? I think so. Maradona was the smallest of the biggest ones. He's 165 centimetres, will be missed. That's from Hakon. Terry says, today is the 50th anniversary of Peter Shilton's first cap. Diego Maradona's final act was to overshadow it. Lovely stuff. Jim Thompson says, been playing Football Manager 21 today. It's boss, either of you lads on it? No, I'm not into Football Manager. It's never been a thing. Gareth Hughes says, think we are hitting the peak of Live at 5. This week has been great. I watched them after work at 8 and got some strange looks for peeing myself on the tram home yesterday. Keep it going. I mean, the Home Alone thing yesterday was tremendous. It was tremendous.
Coming up to Christmas as well. Christmas Live at 5.
The Home Alone stuff yesterday was just like, and also breaking down Christmas films if they weren't at Christmas is also fantastic as well.
I mean, we will be moving towards a bit of any other businessy type. I love the Christmas stuff we do.
Mark G says, Scary Spice all day, every day, and twice on Sunday.
Yeah.
I think she'd probably want to play 4 or 5 times on a Sunday in different positions just to test herself.
It's about making yourself better. Kobe Ware says, I love Yerry, but he's too slow. Okay. Couldn't mark a toddler's spelling test. Harsh. Glenn Watson's asking, if you had to choose one of these, what would you choose? A baby kangaroo or a matter baby? When Ped replies, what's a matter baby?
Oh,
Glenn, I ruined it.
You weren't supposed to. Oh, pass.
I ruined it, Glenn.
Oh. And what were you supposed to answer with?
Nothing.
What's the matter with you,
baby? Glenn, apologies.
Keith Powell says, no matter how old you get as a football fan, you never forget those moments. You're right, Keith. Time can be controlled like ice hockey. Clocks stopped when injury, problem, etc., and then restart when all normal. So, full minutes I played. Terry says, you asked me the other day, where would the party be held? It's got to be in the townhouse. Terry, that would be a very different party. And I don't think we can afford that many power bars. Or that much Lucasade.
Yeah.
There'd be a lot of liquid. That's all I'm going to say. Richard Parr says, the cinemas are safer than shops. Sat miles away from anyone else. Not like someone coughing at you without a mask on as they lean over to grab a butty off the shelf. But Richard, the shops are shut, aren't they? The point being, is a cinema, you sit there for a couple of hours. And yes, there mightn't be anyone around you. But if people are just breathing, never mind coughing, that air circulates. And I don't think we should be encouraging people to sit in indoor spaces with strangers. I don't think that
just at the minute.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't. That's why we haven't had anything on the cinemas for the last 6 months, apart from like Tenet, because we shouldn't be encouraging anybody to sit indoors with people who are outside a bubble. I just think that should be common sense. Keith Powell says Franz Beckenbauer wants to add to the list.
Good player. Mike Davis wants me to ask you if you'd ever watched Night Of on HBO.
I did watch Night Of. Very, very good. Very dark. It's got Riz Ahmed, British actor. It's about a lad who ends up getting done for a murder. And he's a dead, normal, straight-laced kid when he goes into prison. And you basically see what happens to him in prison and how he has to survive.
Yeah.
And
Glenn Watson wants to know what your favourite Maradona song is. But Like a Virgin, Vogue, Papa Don't Preach, or Material Girl.
No, it's none of them. It's,
I think Like a Virgin.
No, it's...
Papa Don't Preach is a good one. It's a good song.
Papa Don't Preach.
I'm in trouble deep. Papa Don't Preach, I've been losing sleep.
But I've made up my mind.
I'm staying with Dick L.
Oh,
sorry, I thought we were...
No, mine's... there's a couple. I like her early stuff. Borderline is good.
Yeah, Borderline's a good one.
Live to Tell a Tale is my favourite. Is it Live to Tell a Tale? That's my favourite one.
It's called Live to Tell.
That's it. Yeah, Live to Tell. And it's got Christopher Walken in the video.
Yeah, it certainly
It's from a terrible film that no one's ever seen.
Sohal says you think Andre Gomez will get back to his first season form?
No. Sell him. Keith Powell says, if no one knows how good Pele was, please try and watch the review of the 1970 World Cup from Mexico competition. Was great in the final, the best ever 4-1 against Italy. You see pure class and vision. No, I appreciate that, Keith, but what was he doing in between World Cups? That's what I always think. That's just a general question.
Graham's just tweeted this week, messaged us here, said George Best died on this day 15
I believe
years ago.
so. I think Kane put that in the...
What?
Richard says, went to Anfield to watch them versus Inter, to watch R9 play, as I was obsessed with him, and he got kicked out.
Just do them, I'll be back.
And I got kicked out when he scored, as apparently I was winding too many people up. Must have only been 13. Ha ha, burnt me trainees when I got home, and my mum battered me. That's a very weird story, Richard. Just to watch R9 play.
Point blank Live to Tell.
Is it
at close range or something?
It's got Christopher Walken in. I don't know. I've never seen it.
The film it's in Live to Tell.
Richard Hughes says, who was your schoolboy crush? Mine was Kyle. I think you mean Kylie. But if it is Kyle, then fair play. It might be Kyle. But I'm thinking you mean Kylie, but you've written Kyle. So if you'd like to just let me know who Kyle is, then fair enough. We can, that's fair enough. I've no idea where Baz has gone, by the way. He's just literally run out the room. I've got an idea of where he's gone. But, I don't want to go on about it. Let's go on. Right, let's grab this. Let's have a little look. King Arthur says, have you invited a soldier to your studio? 2000 in Liverpool? No, I haven't. I haven't invited a soldier. Because why would I invite a soldier to the studio? For what purpose would that be? Lynn says Platini, great. Also Campes, yeah. Platini was a brilliant player. Campes, I think Campes just like 78, wasn't it? More than anything else. Robert Russell says Paul Kyle. I don't know who Kyle is. And if that's his crush, then that's up to him. Ped, have you played FIFA 14? One of the best footy games. I have got FIFA 14. King Officer says, Ped, you need to disinfect that MacBook. Why? Because Baz has touched it. We have hand sanitizer. It's fine.
Wait till it's just last all over.
Lewis says, will either of you be going to Goodison? If you can next month. I will.
I'll make a decision.
King Arthur, the soldier, could be an Everton supporter. No, I know, but why would we invite a soldier to the studio? I don't understand the premise of it. Connor says, when are you back on the 88 Sport Ped? I don't know, to be honest. I know they have been in touch about doing some stuff. So it should be soon. Phil's Cinema Cave says, remember Pistone? How could we forget Pistone?
Can't forget him.
I'm not going to read the comments out. I'm slightly shocked by how Maradona is is it? I don't know. The drug thing. It's I'm not really focused. I don't really want to focus on that. It's a bad thing, but I think drug addiction is. It's hard to be in someone else's shoes, isn't it? You don't know, do you? You don't know what leads to these things. No. Chris Wilson says Sean Penn and Christopher Walken movie at close range. Yeah.
Sean
there you
Penn,
go.
she was going up with, wasn't it? Or married. Did she get married to him?
She did get married to him.
Yeah.
And they did a film also called Shanghai Surprise.
Oh, Shanghai Surprise.
But she's a terrible actress.
She was in Body of Evidence. She was all right in that.
Wasn't there a wax candle in that
wax
as well?
Candle, yeah. William Dafoe.
Stuart Stewart, Ped of 888 Sport paid you for having to put up with that. Do you know what? They haven't actually paid me yet. I'm fuming. Cam says that I felt as confident on Saturday. No, but I'm never confident.
I'm not confident, but...
Lynn says I got bangers and mash. I don't know which way...
For the dinner?
That's all it says, so I don't know which way to take that. See, to me, that sounds like a
rhyming slang.
No, that sounds like a couple of police officers from the 70s.
Come on, let's wrap it up.
King Arthur, I still have no idea what you're talking about with soldiers. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know why you think we'd invite soldiers into our studio when we don't invite anyone into our studio, because guess what? It isn't America where you can just roam free with COVID and spread it over people. We've got rules here and we stick to them. I don't know. He's like,
I don't know what's going on.
He's going on about bringing soldiers into the studio. I don't.
Okay.
I don't know what I don't know. Ricky says, evening gents, if PSG made a bid for Moise Kean, would you sell him? And who would be your first choice replacement for him?
I don't know. I don't know if I'd sell him. I'd want to see what he does over the season.
I'd sell him.
I know you would.
I'd want real quality.
Yeah, but so who would you want?
I don't know, I'm asking you.
Well, I don't know. Centre forward. You want a younger centre forward who can score your goals, don't you? And there's not that many around.
Okay. Phil Cinema Cave says Madonna in Dick Tracy. It's a good shout.
Dick Tracy.
Cam says, go to the chippy order, boys. Need suggestions.
Kung Po chicken, salt and pepper chips. Or are you talking more like a chippy as in like steak pie and chips, or a curry rice and chips?
Do you know what I haven't had for ages? Like a sausage dinner.
Yeah, I haven't had that.
Or like a steak pie dinner.
Steak.
They're like match going staples of like, you know, you get to it's a Wednesday night game. You don't get home and have your tea.
Need some food.
And getting a chippy, steak pie dinner.
Freezing outside and you're eating it.
Miss going to match because of things like that.
Not because of the footy, just things like
that. Glenn Watson's got another question for you, Baz. He says, who was your favourite character from Soldier, Robson or Jerome? Do you remember when they sang Unchained Melody? Then one of them reappeared in Game of Thrones years later.
Well, I haven't watched Game of Thrones. I didn't watch Soldier, but I do know Robson and Jerome, and I do remember Unchained Melody. Oh, probably be Robson Green.
My love, my darling.
Are we done? At 6:20.
All right, one more. Nick F says, what are your thoughts on a Home Alone reboot directed by Ryan Reynolds? I'd like to see a Home Alone reboot set. Not at Christmas.
Oh.
Because it doesn't have to be a Christmas film, does it? Strictly speaking. Phil's always a good one. Phil's Cinema Cave says, Madonna in Die Another Day. What part did she play in Die Another Day? Come on, come on.
Don't even know if I've seen Die Another Day, to be honest. You just go, Die Another Day. It's not going to make me go, I've seen it, yeah.
It might prompt your mind.
No, I don't think
She plays the fencing teacher of the bad girl in it.
She didn't have a cape on, did she?
And then she says something like smarmy. She's only in it for 5 minutes, just camel, because she does the song for it. And she's like, yeah, she's the fencing teacher and she's in all the fencing. It was when she was doing her English face, when she was going out with the Tingo. And so she was like, everything was like, hello, sir, how are you? Oh, Bond.
Hello, James.
Haven't you got a big sword? James. What happens in Bond films, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was very innuendo.
I found out last night that Kate Winslet is English.
Get out. Just get out.
wrap this up,
Just get
'cause
out.
I'm
You didn't hear that. Ned just said last night I found out that Kate Winslet was English. Like Kate Winslet has ever been anything
Anywhere else
but English. God, I hate the youth. I hate them. I hate them. I hate how they've now. They're all. You know what? I probably could tell me how many people have got 1 million followers on TikTok, but doesn't know Kate Winslet's English.
There's nowhere to go with it, other than to say, we're done.
It's just that's unacceptable. That's small time nonsense. That. Kate. Oh my God.
Oh, dear me. You've let yourself down, Ned. You've let yourself down.
You've let yourself down by telling us.
Don't say it. Just think to yourself before you say it. Is this going to sound very clock face or what? Do you know what I mean?
Am I going full clock face or full Eccleston Park? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Eccleston Park, I don't think would admit to being that stupid. What made you think Kate Winslet was American?
I thought she was American and she did a brilliant English accent.
I was going to say, right, that makes her an actually really good actress if you think she's not English.
That's what I'm saying. I thought she was a really good actress.
Why would she be in that? She was American.
Thanks, King Arthur. You know what? I'm not tired. I'm just ready for me tea.
Well, she was English in Titanic.
So she was English in Titanic.
But she slipped out a couple of American phrases. But I think that's because she was...
No, because the people who pay the bills are American. So when films get made in America, they normally say elevator instead of lift because the people who are paying the bills are American.
That's why I thought she was American.
So you clearly watched The Holiday last night, didn't you?
I watched The Holiday.
Oh,
Yeah.
belter of a film.
Yeah, you watched.
That's a very strong English accent.
Do you know why? And I'll
she's
rock your
English.
world on this. Because she's English.
So I googled it and it said she's an English actress. I thought, what the hell?
Incredible.
How old are you?
We nearly got to 200 likes. We should have got it really
How
with
can you go through your
350
life
people. But
not knowing a Kate Winslet's
well, thanks
English?
very much. I know, it's worrying.
Do you know what I mean?
It's worrying.
How'd you get out of school not knowing that kind of...
know.
What do they teach in the schools anymore?
Not that Kate Winslet is
English.
English. Cam, I haven't got a clue, mate, what I'm having for me tea. What are you having for your tea?
I'm having...
Wednesday, what are you having?
I'm going to make a curry from scratch.
A curry.
From scratch.
I might have a curry. My missus might made a curry when I get in, to be honest tonight.
She's wrong with it. She just said fish guts.
An offal. With a chain.
Is there anyone out there like who was pleasantly surprised by actors or actresses being a different nationality? What they thought.
I'll be honest. The kid out of Line of Duty, the one with the dark hair, the thickest Scottish accent, yeah. But I didn't see him until that.
Because it's his job.
No, very good. No, I'm saying surprised. I'm saying I was surprised that he was Scottish.
What was I watching the other day?
He's really
I've been
good.
watching the Queen's Gambit, and loads of the characters in that are from England. There's a kid in it pretending to be Mexican, and he's English.
He's English.
He was in...
I think he's brilliant. Millie Bobby Brown, English. American accent's brilliant.
You've watched the Sherlock Holmes, haven't you?
And Ola, and Ola
she's
Holmes.
annoying, but
She's very good in that as well.
it shows that they're good at the jobs.
Good at the jobs, good. It's
Good
all
at the
good.
jobs. They're not hammy or...
Phil Cinema Cave says Kate Winslet in Heavenly Creatures. There you go.
Says everything you need to know. Let me just
It's all
check
good.
the Patreonics.
Do the Patreonics, because in
They'll be
2
like-
minutes you're doing the news if
Because-
we're not off.
Because Kyle hasn't come back with us. Kyle said, Andrew said, who was your schoolboy crush? Mine was Kyle. And he's not come back with any more
He
details.
hasn't he's missed the eye out on him.
Well, we did mention
Kyle.
this.
But he might be Kyle, for all we know.
No, I know.
so fair
I'm just
play.
saying we need to know who Kyle is.
J Max said Cameron Diaz in The Mask or Margot Robbie in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Margot Robbie. I mean, I went to pitch to see The Mask, and I remember when she walks into the bank, I'm thinking, who the hell is this person? I've never seen her before. And then that's when I was watching The Wolf of Wall Street, I was watching Margot Robbie going, oh my God, who the hell is this person? The difference was clear on the screen now. That
Cameron Diaz is naughty in Vanilla Sky.
I've never seen Vanilla Sky.
There's just one. It is a bit crap. There's just one line when she's driving with Tom Cruise and he's trying to bin her.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you the line she says, not when we're on air, but it's
Does
naughty.
she say, I reckon I know what she says, and I'm going to say it now. Does she say, I can play split striker?
No. I'll tell you what she says. Did you know Kate Winslet was English? Right, we're
Wasn't
going.
she in the holiday with it? Is that
Yeah,
how she knew?
that's why she
oh,
knew.
she was like, up till we made this film, love. I thought you were from bloody Connecticut.
Stephen Powell says Kate Winslet was actually American in Titanic. There you go.
She was.
So there you go.
was, yeah, she was
That's
American.
why she was using American phrases, Ned. We're going.
Yeah, she was
She
American.
was.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well made. And once again, Ned has ruined any
He's netted
hopes.
himself off.
He was, you know what?
She was a posh American.
Every week, well, no, because at the Times, don't forget, her family would have probably come from England anyway. Don't forget, if it was like 1912, there's a good chance that your family were probably from England anyway.
Her mum was English.
Yeah, and she was born, so she would be brought up in a household that spoke English, like, and had English accents, because you speak what you're surrounded by, and if she was well-to-do, they would have been English, because that's how it was in the... But what I was going to say is, week by week, I test Ned, just to see if we're going to get him on air, and every week he fails. Every week, I think, I'd be embarrassed to put him in front of a screen and get our viewers... You know what I mean? There's actually a tier on Patreon that I might create, a Ned tier, just to see if people are willing to... I'll pay them to watch Ned in shows.
Sebastian Teller. Seb, hope you're well, mate. Thanks for the match preview and the match reaction from the weekend. Thank you very much. Top man. Top man.
There you go. Right, we're going.
We're going.
Because
time
we
to
need Ned. Well, basically what we have to do is to disinfect Ned, not get the blush on him, before we can send
Stephen
him home.
Richardson's now on Patreon.
Get on Patreon, it's boss.
It's right,
we do this
Stephen.
every day, and we do
It's
other
right.
things, because there's things we can't say on YouTube legally, but on Patreon we can. We can say the things that we're not allowed to. Like, on Patreon, Baz would have told me exactly what she said in Vanilla Sky. He probably would have reenacted it.
No, I wouldn't have reenacted it. I definitely wouldn't have reenacted it.
Would you have drawn a picture of it?
No, I wouldn't have even done that. We're going. Thank
See
you
you
very
later.
much for joining. Hit the like button before you leave. Subscribe if you haven't. Coming soon.
Fa la la la, fa la
Or
la
if you're
la,
in another
fa la la
country
la,
now,
fa la la la, fa la la la, fa la la la, fa la la la,
Fade us out.
fa